Hello and welcome to Narrowcast Boxing. It's May 3rd, 2019. In this episode, I'll be previewing the fight between Canelo Alvarez and Danny Jacobs, so let's get into it. Let me start by saying that this is really the fight to watch this weekend. I'm not going to be previewing anything else because there's not really much else of interest. If you're new to boxing or have been watching boxing for a long time, regardless, I highly suggest watching this fight. On paper, it looks to be the best fight of the year so far, and in reality, it may very well live up to that. Um, these are two of the top three middleweights in the world. Canelo Alvarez is the favorite going into the fight, and he's a pound-for-pound level fighter. Danny Jacobs does have a significant size and reach advantage, and it should be close to a 50-50 fight. I should also mention that this will be a unification of championships at 160 pounds. So what is my prediction for this fight? I don't think that either fighter will get stopped. I do think that there is a possibility of the fight being a draw, and I have to say that I'm most confident in saying that I think that Canelo Alvarez will defeat Danny Jacobs over 12 rounds. And the reason for this is in large part because I feel that Canelo is naturally a better boxer than Danny Jacobs. Although Jacobs put up a good fight against Gennady Golovkin, I had him losing that fight, and the fights that Jacobs had against Sulecki and Derevianchenko were both close fights and both highly competitive. I feel like Jacobs has kind of a non-definitive style, kind of similar to Timothy Bradley, in that I've seen Jacobs fight several times, but I don't really remember or know how he fights. I think that his best attribute is his athleticism, but I don't really think that will be enough of an advantage this time around. I also think from a visual standpoint, if Canelo is moving forward and Jacobs wants to box on the back foot and from the outside, then this will give the impression that Canelo is taking the fight to Jacobs and thus winning the rounds. Many judges tend to favor who they perceive as the aggressor in this case. I don't really see Canelo backing up much in this fight. It isn't really his style. And additionally, if Canelo and Jacobs decide to fight in the middle of the ring, I think that Canelo's superior boxing skills will give him the advantage there as well, despite Jacobs having a height and reach advantage. I should also mention that I think that the best chance for Jacobs to win is to take the fight to Canelo. I do also expect this fight to be close and highly competitive, and I know a lot has been said about if the fight is close it will go to Canelo because he's the money fighter, and in my opinion this has certainly been something to be concerned with in the past. I can think of multiple fights where the scorecards for Canelo were questionable. I had Canelo losing to Erislandy Lara and Gennady Golovkin in both fights, so hopefully scorecards won't overshadow the fight regardless of the outcome. With that said, I do feel like there are times when the pendulum swings back the other way, and when a fighter gets a favorable decision, he may get a bad outcome in a future fight, and vice versa. So to recap, while I do expect Canelo to win, I wouldn't really be surprised if there is an upset win for Danny Jacobs. I do think that he has a good chance, but I am picking Canelo to win a decision here. So with that said, like, comment, subscribe, enjoy the fight, and I'll talk to you next week.